Drama time. Drama. Ladies and gentlemen, drama time. Yeah, let me just start watching this video, because we have time now, right? Let me just see what he says. I mean, I have no idea what the fuck. I haven't watched this. I was like, I'm gonna watch this in stream. I can't be fucking bothered enough off stream to watch this shit.
Let's go look at let's go look at Andy's post. Hi all, obviously a lot of attention on Doublelift's feelings on TSM. Unfortunately, it's chosen a public venue to air this negativity. I wanted to make a post to share full transparency as to why we made some of our decisions around Doublelift and rosters in the past. Peter's a good player, one of the best players of all time in NA. Although he's a strong player and leader inside the game, he's really challenging to work with. 2020 offseason. Going into the 2020 offseason, Bjergsen retired. After hearing the news, Doublelift was unsure whether he also wanted to continue to play. That part is sketchy, but let's keep reading. Therefore, we considered many options about what the future of TSM would look like, and our intention and strategy was to rebuild our team. Holy fuck, this is so long. After a few days passed, he reached out and changed his mind, told us that if we were to sign PoE and any good support player, no matter what language they spoke, he would play. Otherwise, he would look at other teams to retire. This part is actually, it doesn't really matter, but it's like slightly inaccurate. I never told them that I had any intention of doing anything other than playing.
Right. We're already starting off with a lot of issues. Honestly, I have met people in my life that when you tell them something, they perceive completely different thing. I've met a lot of people like that. You can tell them one thing, but then they just think you mean completely different with something, and they're just gonna go with that because they can't read anything of people. Honestly, this could be the case here. Okay, sorry.
Just that I would consider playing for them if they got PoE and any good support player, because at the time, I explained that our roster just exploded. Basically, the only two people who were staying was like me and Ming, me and Spica. And
what was the roster? I fucking forgot. It was Bjergsen, Doublelift, Spica, right? Or something like that. I don't even know who it was. Was it fucking Biofrost? Oh god.
Thinking
oh, broken with Biofrost. Yeah, I mean, no fucking wonder that roster exploded.
It's gonna be hard to replace Soren, obviously, but there's two good mid laners available. Or like, there's two good mid laners that are possible, not available. It was Jensen and PoE. So I don't know if you guys knew, but Jensen re-signed with Team Liquid for 3 years last offseason. So his options were between TSM and TL. I'm sure he had other options too, but he ended up choosing TL. So I was thinking, I really wanted to play with either. I wanted to play with Jensen a bit more because I like him and think we work really well together. And I thought it would be a good replacement for Soren, obviously. Everyone else would just be such a huge downgrade. Yeah. So why is that important? Because we still want to work with Doublelift, we decided to commit to a strong roster that we want to play with rather than using the year to rebuild. Okay, good idea. We committed to signing PoE and a substantial budget. We're looking to sign Huni and others. Also looking to sign good support such as Lehen, Sword Art, Palette, or other Korean supports.
I have no fucking idea who Palette is. Never heard of him.
The conversations with Sword Art were going well. We were deep in negotiations with him. While we were negotiating with Sword Art, we did tell Doublelift there was a possibility the deal wouldn't happen, and he would have to play with Palette or other Korean supports as plan B. Eventually we hit a snag and were concerned that there was a high possibility that the Sword Art deal may not actually happen. At this time, we reached out to Doublelift about other potential options, including Paladin players in Korea. Doublelift then expressed he didn't want to play with non-English speaking players, including our Korean options, even though he's okay with such a roster earlier. Okay, this is just factually wrong. That is just literally just completely factually wrong to the point where like I could like bring up the chat logs about this. That is completely wrong. He explicitly stated that he may not be as motivated if we had him play on our roster that didn't meet his standard of a fully English-speaking roster. This was in November when every other ADC was locked. We were 4 hours away from transferring Lost to EG. Okay, so some inaccuracies I don't really care about, like the whole committed to... Actually, this part does make no sense. Andy has some memory problems. I'll, explain what actually happened here. It's okay if you forgot. At the time, the only thing that was confirmed was me and Spica on the team. There was absolutely no confirmation for anyone else. So yeah, they're talking to Huni, yeah, they're talking to PoE, but the talks actually weren't going that well. I was getting updates every single day about whether Evil Geniuses was willing to part ways with Huni, and it actually looked like it was a no. Like at the time, Evil Geniuses was thinking about keeping Huni as a backup for Impact, and it didn't seem like they were willing to sell him off, or it was like really sketchy. Already, strike one for me is there's no top laner. I can't commit to a fucking roster. There's no fucking top laner. Mid laner. The talks with FlyQuest were actually going really bad. Apparently, like, FlyQuest had promised PoE that, like, Santorin was gonna stay. PoE was not confirmed at all. Him saying, like, we committed to signing PoE is super troll to say, because everything only fell into place at the very, very end. This is, like, so...
I mean, based on my knowledge, I would side with Doublelift here.
far away, so much after the time where Andy egoed on me. Also, him saying that I would not be down to play with leagueoflegends is fucking troll. Of course I'd be down to play with leagueoflegends. He's so fucking good. Like, the only option that they presented me was, do you want to commit to a roster with no top laner, no mid laner, and probably Pallet? And like, the backups for mid and support are like, if you guys don't know, Pallet is like a VCS support that I played against. I thought that he might be good. I wanted them to investigate how good he actually is and if he has good English skills. Because I played against this guy at MSI in 2019, 2018, and actually Core, he told me that this guy might be actually pretty insane. For, you know, for VCS standards, he's really good. Yeah, I recommended him, obviously, as someone to look into. And they thought that that was like, we fucking locked him, boys. Like, he said it, we're gonna go get him, and then he's committed. It's like, that's not how it works. I'm not gonna commit to a roster with fucking no roster. And
Damn right, I wouldn't either. I don't know, probably most of my players, at least 3 of them, I probably would never commit to a roster. That's just fucking dumb.
all this happened, by the way. It's just like, all blew up at once. It's like, okay, Andy calls me. He's like, yo, are you committed to the roster? Just even if it's total shit, if it's Palafox or like our backup Korean mid laners and Pallet, and like we don't have a top laner. And he put me on the spot, and I was like, no, I don't think I would work well in that environment, honestly. Like, I don't feel good about it. And then he's like, okay, well, fuck it then. You don't have a spot on the team anymore. That is actually how it went down. And I even afterwards, and I mean, you guys, you can ask him yourself, like, is this a battle of the egos? Because I went back and I apologized, and I said, you know, it's just, the whole thing just sprung on me really suddenly. Like, I legitimately apologized to him and said this whole thing, like, really like negative situation that came out between us happened because, you know, you basically asked me for my full commitment to something that like was really sketchy to me, and I didn't really have like a very positive reception to it because X, Y, and Z, and I guess I should have taken more time to think about it. Even looking back, even if I did take more time to think about it, I probably would have made the same decision. This shit is, that roster was so fucked. This is just factually wrong. Unfortunately for him, that's this post is really cringe. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like this carefully manufactured, like he has a team of like PR people to carefully manufacture his response to make it look eloquent, to make it look articulate.
I mean, W is saying this is a team of PR. I think Reginald's statement is 0 PR. I think, like, if this is a team of his PR, then his PR team fucking sucks. That's not how you do PR at all. What the fuck? That was like... I'm pretty sure that post was fucking written by him. I don't believe in any fucking PR here.
To make him look reasonable, but it's not. Actually, I'm gonna go back and just let me actually step back really fast and just say the reason why I don't like Andy has very little to do with the fact that he
drama time
did, and now I'm just like lashing out. People say that in the comments, they're like, I'm so surprised, like I thought Doublelift was really happy streaming, like I thought he was enjoying his life, you know, he seems to be happy.
I thought he was enjoying his life. I don't think it takes long to realize that W doesn't enjoy what he's doing. What? I mean, maybe some people are just dumb.
You know, but inwardly he just has all this like hate, and like he actually secretly longs to like play again. And it's like, dude, I'm flattered. Like I'm really glad you think I'm that good of an actor. I don't think I am, but yeah, no, the truth is, guys, that I'm not actually a good actor. Like I actually am happy, and part of the reason why all this stuff is so like my off season, sort of like poking my head out and stuff, I wanted to keep it low key, is because I was just exploring an option. I think it would be stupid to not like be diligent, explore the option. I wasn't secretly like super butthurt that, you know, oh my god, I don't get to play. It's not like that at all. People actually, some of my friends messaged me, they're like, I thought you were perfectly happy streaming, and I'm like, dude, I am. Really, all this stuff is just because I don't like Andy. Tired of him getting away with a bunch of random shit. It actually, to be honest, it all started, this whole conversation even
I'm confused. He just said he's not happy, and then he said he's happy. What?
Started because I got so annoyed with people asking me, like, why would you even consider playing again? Like, why would you even want to play again? I thought you were happy. And it's like, I didn't plan on stop playing to begin with. And then I had to explain why, you know, like I didn't just fucking wake up one day and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I don't want to compete anymore. But you know, I made my peace with it and it's all good. Just don't like Andy. And I'll explain why after reading the rest of this post. So let's see here. Peter has misconception that he's replaced both times solely by me, but in reality, the decision is made collectively by the players and staff he works with day to day. I mean, could be getting lied to by the people that I know, but I've talked to quite a lot of the people on TSM. I think I know quite a lot of the picture. let's see here. Even after Sword Art committed to TSM, we collectively thought that committing to loss was the best decision. Sure, that's fine. I really don't care. If that was the case, I really
Video's not 2x.
don't care. Hope this is a learning lesson for Peter as he's gone through this several times in his career. I love the like holier than thou attitude from this guy. One of the most disliked people I know. He's clearly one of the best, or one of the he's clearly the best, one of the best, despite his skills, difficult to work with. Teammates since have multiple teams have chosen to remove him because of it. He needs to understand that every spot is earned, not guaranteed. Totally get it. So why is he publicly speaking out against TSM now? I assuming he is upset because we weren't interested in working with him. Yeah, definitely not. He was exploring his options. We were not interested in working with him for these reasons. Okay. So this is the part where I'm like, he's just projecting. Like he thinks because he, I'm like upset that he like doesn't want me on his team. I don't want to work for this guy. Like I don't like him. I just don't like him. So came out. Somebody actually messaged me who worked for worked for TSM in the past. I'm not going to say who. They're like asking me a lot of the stuff that you have to say about Andy is honestly it's unrelated to the last offseason, right? Like there's like two different things, and I think that's where I went wrong. I think the fact that all of this is about like the focal point of all this stuff is about the offseason. Oh, that's where I went wrong, guys, because that's not what it's about. Like it's a very small part of the bigger picture. I never should have allowed like any of my own personal experiences with him to kind of like bleed in, because then it just makes me sound like I'm just like vengeful and I have like an ulterior motive to what I'm saying. So like fuck all this like random literally just lies in his like you know, talking about the offseason. I this is such a small part of it. Like just don't like him. I'll show you guys something really interesting here. Okay. Do you guys remember when Andy went on Twitter and flamed Vulcan, told him he would work at McDonald's if there was no import rule? And it became a meme, right? Like Vulcan leaned into it. It's funny. People don't like working with him. It's funny that he has this holier than thou attitude about it, because he's like a bully who gets away with being a bad person because he's powerful, because people are afraid to stand up to him. And that's what I'm sick of. That when I was talking to my friends last night on Discord, that's what I realized.
Sashiha, thank you for 10 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, Reginald did say that, yeah. He said to Vulcan that if the import role wasn't a thing, he would be working in McDonald's.
I'm sick of somebody who's basically just a bully getting away with it because it's in everyone's best interest to not get in his way. And I will show you all of the examples. They have nothing to do with me about why. This is the, what is it? He's like the COO, right? No, he's the VP of operations. So this is a month ago.
Eating with Lord TSM Reginald, he says if he comes back to coach the LoL team, he would guarantee first for spring and summer next year. Yeah, actually, I think he is like Wilson Fisk. Dramatic.
His right-hand man, these guys are like, it's basically his butt buddy, right? It's the guy who like basically licks his butthole 24/7. He tweets, eating with Lord TSM Reginald. He says if he comes back to coach the LoL team, we would guarantee first for spring and summer next year. How fucking yikes is that if you're Bjergsen? Just think about all of the different things that is going on here. So he's basically saying that he would do such a better job than Bjergsen did last year, that they would guarantee first. For those people who think that, first off, it's fucked up to say. It's so disrespectful. Imagine if you're any part of the coaching staff or any part of the team. It's just like he knows so much better than you that like he thinks that if you just stepped in.
This reminds me of good old days when Reginald just sucked himself into every fucking roster and tried to fix things but managed to make them worse every time.
If he was just able to step in and be the coach, that the team would just turn around because he's God's gift to the game. And think about how many steps removed they are, that this guy would think it's okay to tweet during the time that they're negotiating with Soren. Like in the offseason. This is going to turn everyone away from the org. This is going to turn everyone away from wanting to be on the team. It's just cringe. Okay, and then there's also the argument that you can make is like, oh, he's joking. But then it's obviously not a joke, right? Because this is somebody who steps in.
No. I was thinking about the argument that he's joking too. No. These are like two consistent patterns. He does them every year. No.
Every single playoffs and ruins the team atmosphere.
Yeah.
In fact, on my last split on TSM, I had a meeting with Walter and Soren in the gym, and the meeting was about how can we get Andy to leave us alone during playoffs because he's making us all depressed. So I mean, this happens so much. Anybody who knows anything about the team or has worked on the team knows that this is not a joke. This is like real. This is like a legit statement. So it's just such a like crazy thing to tweet, man. It's just such a crazy thing to tweet. And just like I said, imagine that you're a coach on the league team. Your job is to gain the respect of your team. It's to work with your team and give them the best chance.
Is this tweet deleted? That's what I wonder right now. Is this tweet deleted? October 5th? Yeah. Oh no, it's not deleted.
The winning, and like your boss legitimately thinks like this. I don't really have the tweets on hand, but like you guys remember about when he flamed Vulcan, telling him that he would work at McDonald's if there wasn't an import rule.
Yeah.
You guys remember when like during TSM series, Andy legit came out and said that they lost because of the draft. And it's like Soren is coaching that team. They're in the middle of a series, and Andy's like, we're losing because of coach diff. He's literally just tweeting this in the middle of, or at the end of the series. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy. I've said some
didn't he tweet some shit middle of the series and then had to delete the tweets and apologize?
Some stuff. I can be rude. I can have a huge ego. I can be a dick. But I just can't imagine any of this stuff. And here's the thing, like the thing that makes me so upset and like why this like got an emotional reaction out of me yesterday is because this guy gets away with this stuff because he's powerful, because he has people covering for him, because no one wants to stand up and say this guy's fucked up, because he's the owner of TSM. You would never want to burn that bridge. Like imagine if I was Vulcan, right? Of course if I was upset by that stuff, I would just play it off. Like I'm not saying that he is, but I'm just using that example for like, you would never want to burn that bridge publicly or make an enemy publicly because it's in your best interest not to. There's people who work for him. Like you never want to piss off your boss. You never want to have a bad relationship with your former employer. And like, I don't expect anybody to come out, but just go out and ask people, guys. Go out and ask like Sven and Mithy how it was to work with this guy. Go ask fucking Svenskeren, who I'm pretty sure still has like emotional trauma about this shit. And like, you'll probably get to piece together the clues, okay? Like you will understand why people want to get away from TSM. So when I say that I hate TSM, I shouldn't have said that, because I think there's lots of amazing people who work at TSM. Obviously Lena worked at TSM for a whole year. I have lots of friends who still work at TSM. Like I have friends who, and they'll be
I'm on record today, almost lost streak against the Inferno Soul. That's very nice. That's very nice.
I'm friends. It's not that I'm like, I have this like blind hate for everything TSM related. I think TSM fans can be great. I had an amazing experience because of the TSM fans when I was on the team. It's hard for me to support the org because at the top is a fucking bully. He's just an egomaniac bully. And he gets away with stuff, you know, writing out these kind of things because he has like carefully crafted PR responses to things after he fucks up. But I think the truth will come out eventually. Like time is on my side. If you
That's kind of funny. This whole situation reminds me of mine. When I try to do shit like this and say stuff, yeah, the community backslash is real. Yeah, it's pretty similar here. It's pretty similar. Ah, shit. First time Nemesis? First time? What the fuck do we play? To be honest, I don't want to play anything here. Fuck is my draft. Fuck is my draft. Another Zard game.
You just wait. Keep your eyes open. If you just listen. People are leaving. A lot of people have left already. People are leaving. It's finally starting to come out.
Well, that is what me and Alex said. That TSM is slowly dying.
I don't care if I'm the first person. I don't care if I'm the only person. Just try to keep what I'm saying in mind when you start hearing more and more news, when people start coming out and saying a little bit more here and there. It's, I don't know, it's crazy to me. Like, obviously I respect that he came from nothing, just like me. Like, we both grew up probably extremely poor. I think he grew up extremely poor, but the stuff that he gets away with because he is who he is just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Like, he comes in and makes people feel like shit. He makes them feel worthless. He doesn't treat people with respect. Like, I'll give you an example. I acted like a little shit on Team Liquid, especially in my last split there. Like, definitely on my last split there. And after we parted ways, it was not pretty, but I still have a good relationship with everyone at TL. With Steve, with Dodo, with Kane, with Core. And the reason why is because we have like mutual respect for each other, and